how can I manage living with other people as a highly sensitive person? So in this video, I explore what to do when you're more impacted by the environment around you and the people in it, but living alone isn't an option. So as a highly sensitive person, you are more impacted by the space around you. The sights, the smells, the textures, just the aesthetics of it. You're going to notice clutter more. You're going to notice disorganization more. You're going to notice color and patterns and decorations more and be more impacted by that, whether it's positively or negatively. And you're definitely aware of other people's presence in your living space more than other people would. So some people, they can be alone in a room and they feel completely alone, they feel completely relaxed, and they can completely unwind. However, sensitive people were more attuned to very subtle sounds, energies. So you may not be able to 100% relax or unmask when there's another person in the house, depending on who that person is. If it's a roommate, you might feel less comfortable than if it's a partner or a spouse or a child of yours. So this might change depending on who's in the house. But you might notice when you're completely alone, there's a different experience, different internal experience. Maybe you can feel more yourself. You can just let things go in a way that you can't when other people are around. So what can you do if you live with people and that's not going to change, or you don't want it to change? You feel comfortable living with other people, and also you want to make it easier. Or you might live with people that are difficult, whether they're messier or louder, or maybe you need to live at home for financial reasons or other reasons. Maybe you're a caregiver. So there's lots of scenarios where living with someone else is either necessary or better for your own circumstances. So if there's people that you have deeper relationships with, I'd say think about balancing quality time with those people and also solo time to rest and recharge. I have this struggle whenever my wife's home. I'm like, oh, I just want to hang out with her. I want to spend time with her. But then sometimes I'm overriding a need for recharge time. This happens a lot on Fridays at the end of my week. So Fridays are usually my day to do nothing. And if she's home early from work, I'm like, oh, it's time to hang out. When really, I just need time to decompress after a week of seeing clients and working. But just looking at that for yourself, are you sacrificing solo, quiet time uh, because you want to spend time with people, which is valid, but maybe making sure you also protect your solo time, your self-care time, or are you feeling pressure to hang out with people in the house? I know both of those can be true, but making sure that you do have alone time. It's really essential as a highly sensitive person to process all that information you take in every single day, to sort through your thoughts and your big feelings, and just to soothe your nervous system, right? Allow yourself to decompress, especially after a busy day or a busy week. So essential, or any type of socializing or big projects. And then you might want to also take advantage of quiet time. So if, for me, I like to cook without distraction. So when I've lived with people before, in addition to my or outside of my wife, I would batch cook or do laundry, or even enjoy outdoor spaces when folks were either working or out, so I could just enjoy it and have that quiet and just immerse in my own bubble. I love to spend um, time in the kitchen where I can just enjoy, right, without distraction. I just immerse myself in whatever I'm cooking or baking, and it's more of a tactile self-care activity in addition to providing food for myself. So you may think about that also. Maybe you take advantage of quiet times in the house when you can do chores or enjoy the space when folks are not around. And then communicating that, right? If it feels appropriate, communicating, hey, here's when I want to use different spaces. Maybe we can create time blocks or house rules, or we can work with each other to find times that we can each use the space in a way that works for us. So that may or may not work depending on who you live with. If you live with parents, it's going to be a lot different than if you live with roommates. So roommates, there should be more of an equal power dynamic. With parents, they're most likely seeing you as a child, or there's a little bit of a power differential there that may need to be considered. So you may need to work around the rules of the house versus being a co-collaborator. But if you are in a more equal dynamic with roommates or a spouse or friends, then talking it through. Hey, I really need to cook once a week or twice a week, uninterrupted. And when would it work for you that I could do that? And then what do you need and how can I also meet your needs as well? So then you're supporting each other. Everyone is getting their needs met. And it's going to be really important to create a sanctuary somewhere in the house, most likely your bedroom, right? A space that you can retreat to, that's quiet, that's visually pleasing. This is especially important if you live with people that are messy or cluttered or noisy. Having a space that you can relax in is going to be really important. And setting up that space maybe in a soft, minimal way to counteract the energy in the rest of the house, and have things in there that feel inspiring, that feel comforting. So, really putting a lot of thought into the space that's yours when you're cohabitating with other people. That's going to be really important. Like, okay, this is my little getaway. This is my sanctuary. This is my space where I have agency and control. And then something that's really helped me, which may help you as well, is finding spaces outside of your home that meet your needs. So maybe you retreat to a quiet place once a week, once a day even. It could be your room, or it could be your car, it could be a library or a park or someplace in nature, the woods or the ocean. It could be your favorite store. Um, it could be any place that you find comforting, or you can relax, right? You can unwind a bit. So, what is that place for you? And then making sure you're allowing space to show up there regularly, wherever it is. And then, if you want to take that up a notch, uh, getting a hotel room once a month locally, if that's financially feasible. When I was in grad school, I lived with family, and being able to have a space that I could retreat to overnight really was helpful. So I was living with a few different family members at the time, and the space was more social. It was more a bustling home environment, and especially during graduate school, becoming a therapist, I just needed to fully decompress, to not engage with anyone, to have complete quiet. I was really stretching myself in a lot of ways during that time. And so getting one night away was such a lifesaver because it allowed me to fully unplug, decompress, not think about anyone else, and just feel taken care of, not needing to do any chores or anything. When you are away from home, it allows you to unhook from all the responsibilities and you can just focus on yourself. So if that's feasible, I highly recommend it. It might seem silly getting a hotel room 15, 20, 30 minutes from your house, but it can also make a big difference if you live with other people. So those are just a few ways to make cohabitating with others a little bit easier on your nervous system. And it may involve making some choices that other people don't need to make or wouldn't make. And that's okay, right? Just practicing meeting your sensitive needs, looking inside of yourself instead of outward to decide what those needs are and then meeting them. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below and then check out the description for more HSP resources. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.